And we are live. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Scene Live. Thank you for joining us for another episode. This show is for entrepreneurs who are building something meaningful and want a business that supports their life, not just their income. I'm Kim Speed, and I am a brand clarity coach, creative director, and entrepreneur. I help service based entrepreneurs translate their expertise into clear messaging so they can attract the right clients and grow a more stable business. Each week, I talk with entrepreneurs about their journeys, what worked, what didn't, the lessons they've learned along the way, so you can take ideas back into your own business. Today, we're talking about something many entrepreneurs struggle with, trying to do everything yourself. I have experienced this myself. So my guest today is Clare O'Callaghan, founder and director of Clockwise VA, a boutique virtual assistant agency that supports busy business owners across the UK and globally by helping bring order, systems, and calm behind the scenes. Claire started her career working in London's iconic department stores before moving into the world of virtual assistants. And in 2022, she made the leap from solo VA to building a growing agency. Claire, I am so excited to have you. Welcome to the Scene Live.
Hi, thank you so much, Kim, for inviting me. It's really kind of you to have me here.
I am so glad to have you. I love talking about ways that people can improve their business, especially as a small business owner. But before we get into all that, I'd love to hear your journey. How you went from working in London's retail to building Clockwise VA.
Well, it all happened quite a few years ago now. So I was working in Selfridges and Phoenix in Bond Street, which was really glamorous, and we had a lot of fun doing it. But then I had a family, and I had been a manager on the business side in both those retail stores. So I was like, right, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to make sure that everything happens when it needs to happen.
Yeah.
So initially, I was asked if I would support a couple of people in their businesses with virtual assistant work. And it grew from there. So that started like 2017, 2018.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Wow.
yeah.
So
And
it's
it
been a
was,
while.
so it's been a while. So it was just me. And then after the pandemic, and we had got really busy because everybody was working from home and needed extra
Yes.
support, I decided to expand and take on associates and become an agency. So that's what I have been doing for the last few years now, and it's great. I love it.
Well,
It's
that
really
is
fun.
amazing. I'd love to know, um, many entrepreneurs, they start their business looking for that freedom, but quickly they find themselves doing everything themselves. And I'm sure as an entrepreneur
Yes.
yourself, you understand this. So, at what point do you usually see a business owner realizes that they need help?
It's usually when maybe something big is about to happen in their business and they realize that there's just too much for one person to be doing it all, um, or they're just overwhelmed, or they just really don't enjoy doing a certain aspect of the admin to the point where they've kind of avoided it until they
Yes.
really need to do something about it. um,
Yeah. Well, what were some of the things that people, when you started off doing work, when you left the retail world and started working for people that just asked for your help, what were some of the things that they needed done that you had?
it's it always starts with your inbox,
Yeah.
and the messages that are coming into you and the demands that are being made of your thought processes and your time. So maybe if you, as a business owner, you're being asked multiple different types of conversations all the time, every day, right?
Yeah.
And that change in thought process can be really tricky too. So to have somebody else just say, right, that's it, you only need to answer these 3 things right now, everything else is going to be okay.
Yeah.
That is just, it makes a massive difference
Yeah. I'm
to
sure.
how you feel about what it is that you're trying to do. Even if you set up your business because you love it, right? You
Yeah.
love what you want to do and you know how you want to do it, but maybe the other aspects of the business, like the accounts or the social media, are aspects that you just really don't enjoy, and
Yeah.
you need support with those.
Interesting, because I always say one of the biggest things about having a really great brand is a brand that provides a really good experience for people.
Mhm.
Meaning that, like, in so many different ways, are they being taken care of once they become your client? Are they being taken care of? That's a really big part of it. It's not, a brand doesn't just attract the people into your world. It's also about keeping them in your world and keeping them happy. And if
Yeah,
you're keeping them happy, then referrals happen and more business. So I always think about a VA as being somebody that helps you actually build your brand and keep people happy. So when you talk about helping people with their emails and the overload of it, it could be to just one of the things that I see happening with a VA and VAs that I've had is to go through and say, these are urgent. And as you said, these are the 3 that you need to address, but also just to start to see what people are saying, and help the owner,
yeah,
with suggestions. Is that something that you would do?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And
Yeah.
I really worked that out for myself when I got my own VA, because I was like,
I love that you have a VA too.
yeah, yeah, to help me run the business, right? Um,
Yeah.
so I thought I knew what a VA would do because I was one, until I became the business owner and I was asking a VA to assist me, and realized that I needed to be able to explain really clearly what it was that I wanted, that it wasn't enough that it just lived in my head anymore.
Yeah.
And extracting that information is a skill that you need
Oh,
your VA
huge.
to have, right?
Yeah.
So that you can, as the VA, you can support the client as best as possible. I want somebody who is going to be one step ahead of me
Mhm.
in terms of what I need and understanding how that's going to impact my day or my week. So that's what we need and aim to provide. We want to provide a service where you feel kind of calm that somebody else is handling as much of it as possible for you and
Yeah.
keeping you on track.
And it's funny because the first thing I think about, and I know I've done this myself, is um, not letting go, because what you're thinking is, "Ugh, it's just faster if I just do it myself because it's going
Mm,
to take too long to onboard somebody
yeah,
or explain it." And as you said, it's all in your head. So that's probably not a good thing either, because what if something happens that
yeah,
you're not feeling well, or you're have somebody close to you that's not feeling well that you need to take care of, kids or parents or something. So, what are some of the first things a business owner should stop doing themselves besides, the email? Like, and
they should
how
stop. They should stop doing their accounts. You know, make sure that you've got an accountant who is filing your accounts, and somebody, whether that's a VA or a bookkeeper, who is managing your transactions. And
Mm,
that takes up so much time. And quite often,
yes.
a VA is really good at finding the invoices that are in your emails or you've scanned in or whatever, and adding them into the accounts so they can be managed, because that takes up so much time.
That's
Um,
so interesting because even to have somebody, it's almost like a reminder to you that you have, like, if you haven't been paid because you, and, or you haven't been paid because you haven't put an invoice out. It's
yeah,
like, like I know that, my husband works for himself too. And both of us had that kind of
yeah,
problem. It was, we'd go along and go, "Oh, we have no money.
yeah,
We haven't been paid."
yeah. Well, we haven't invoiced anybody, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, funny that. You
yeah,
actually have to tell people that they owe you money. And then
yeah,
worse off coming back, when it's late and that's embarrassing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
so to have somebody support you by getting the invoice out on time and following it up and then thanking them, and that whole workflow,
yeah,
perfect. Get somebody else to do it for you, absolutely.
yeah,
And everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. You might be naturally creative and hate doing the accounts, or you might be good with the accounts and not particularly creative in terms of social media. Well, get somebody who's better at it to do it for you.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Or
that's
sometimes
what I
even if you are, you should not be doing it all.
yeah.
Because that can be a distraction. It's like,
Mm,
because you do like doing it, it's like, "Oh, I like making images and things like that." That's sort of a thing that I have a problem with, because I can do it and because I find joy out of it, I spend too much time at it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, and you need sometimes it's wonderful to have somebody else saying, "But you need to do this information for that client. When are you gonna do it? And
Yeah,
how are you
yeah,
gonna do it? Have you got have you thought about it? Let's create a process." So somebody who helps keep you on track
yes,
as well.
yeah.
That's just that, with the daily tasks that need to be done. Or an email
So
comes in and it's urgent from a customer saying, "This has all gone wrong. I need you to help me." The client needs to know about that straight away. And you want to have provide them with solutions if
yeah,
possible as
yeah.
well.
Going back to that whole experience,
Yeah.
helping your customers or clients have a good experience with you
Mm.
so that they are raving about you. I love to say we want to make raving fans. And to do that, you have to make them have something to rave about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how
Yeah.
do you personally stay organized when there are so many competing demands besides having your own VA?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I message her and say, "Help!
Mhm, mhm.
Tell me which one I need to do first."
And
um,
and I like that you do that because, like, you're a pretty organized person. You know some of the things that really need to be
yeah.
addressed for your clients, and you're working on those things. But um, I like that you say, you know, you're not Wonder Woman, and you need help too.
Yes.
And she or he
Definitely.
could jump in and point out those weak spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So I use a metrics tracker for my business, so particularly with the marketing and the sales aspect, so that I can see quite easily how I'm progressing and towards the goals that I've set for myself. And then my VA will support me in that and say, "Look, Claire, you've been working on client work, or you've been doing something else for a client, or networking. Now you need to remember that these are the goals that you set yourself, and these are some of the KPIs that you wanted to be measured by, and what are you doing about them?" Um,
Yeah. Yes.
because
Um,
the rest of the time is really clearly defined. I time block a lot. So
That's
that
something that's just explain that, because not everybody.
so
might
yeah,
know.
so when we time block, we decide how long, maybe it's an hour at a time, that you're going to focus on a particular piece of work. So quite often for us, it's either attending to the immediate tasks in my own business first thing in the morning, and then doing a client block before a break at lunchtime, and then a client block in the afternoon, and then networking later on in the day. So it's split out. It allows us to stay on top of the tasks that we need to do for everybody in a timely manner, without flicking between topics too quickly.
So
Because
how do you stop yourself from doing something else while you're supposed to be focused on that?
generally by not looking at anything else.
So do you turn
So
off your
turn off
notifications
your
and
notifications, don't look at LinkedIn, don't look at Facebook or Instagram or your emails coming in. You know, if it's really urgent, they will call you. Other than that, you want to not look at it,
Yeah.
because
And usually there's nothing that is that urgent.
they
But
can't wait like an hour.
mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
normally that's okay. Unless it's your own child, do answer the phone if it's them. Um,
Well, you can always set up a special ring for just for them too.
yeah, 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 yeah. The
Yeah,
emergency ring.
give
Um,
the bat
but
phone.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
also, if you have a VA in your team, then it's their duty to kind of keep an eye on your emails and make sure that the urgent stuff is flagged at the appropriate time. If they call you to say something's happened and I need an answer on this immediately, fair enough. But if it can wait, it's not that urgent. It can wait an hour.
right. Yeah.
You know. So
And I think we don't, like, we're such an instantaneous society now that we don't need to answer things right away. And we don't, like, and I'm speaking to myself at this point because I have shiny object syndrome. So I really need to, like, I need to shut off those notifications, and I try to give myself those focus times. The worst part is that a lot of times I'll need something in my email. So,
yeah,
or I need to go look up something,
yes,
um, that
yes, and then you fall down a rabbit hole.
yes, and
Yeah,
then I'm the worst at that. I'm the worst at that. So,
yeah.
um,
But the other one that works well for me is the Pomodoro technique,
mhm.
which
Oh, yes,
is
yes, the timer.
there's a timer. It's 25 minutes of intense work, 5 minutes off. Um, and I'm really I work better to a deadline.
Yeah, me
So
too.
if I know I've only got 25 minutes to do a piece of work and really focus on it, then I'm going to do it intensely and look at it and really focus on it for those 25 minutes, and I will get more done because of that.
Yes.
Than
Yes. You
if
know
I've
what?
got the whole morning or the whole afternoon to do the
I think
same
that's
project.
really a wise one for, and I probably should bring that one back into my, my world.
Yeah,
But I always think, "Oh, is 25 minutes gonna be enough?" But if I do something at least for 25
yeah,
minutes, I know that I'll accomplish something. And so
yes,
and making sure that you don't make it such a big goal that, like,
yeah,
make it take out the smaller things. Um,
exactly. Break it down
yeah.
and give yourself the opportunity. Like I find, even if I've started that project within the 25 minutes, got the bones of it going, I feel
Mhm.
so much better about how I'm going
Yes,
to
because
deal with that whole project.
even if you're not completely happy with the
Hmm.
results, at that point, you've got something to work with for when
Yeah,
you get your next 25 minutes at,
right.
even if it's a different time. And sometimes if you take a break and go back to it, it's better as well. But
Yeah,
um,
yes.
but I
Yeah, I
digress.
really find that. I read it again. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
really? Right. I'll just I'll just write that again.
Yes, but you know what? Also, too, I find that if I have the bones there, that's a great way to go and help get AI help on it and say,
Yes,
okay, this is what I've got. I need help, making this better
yes.
or brainstorming with them.
Yeah,
Um, you know,
definitely. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I find AI super useful for helping me to clarify the thought process, but I need to have done the work initially to know what to put in there.
And that's
Um,
what I was going to ask you. So, when do you think AI is an important part of
so
your business?
it it really helps us to do a better and quicker job
Yeah.
on the same tasks. Um, and that is fantastic. Um, but we're all learning that
Mhm.
it only gives you back what you've put in, really. So
Yeah.
if you write something too generic, it's not going to work out. You need to be really specific. But I find that um, VAs, as VAs using AI, we are able to produce information and results more quickly because we're able to use AI to help us think around something that instead of, you remember when you used to write a LinkedIn post and it could take you like 20 minutes, 30 minutes because you didn't know exactly how to say what you wanted to say. And
Yes.
now AI will help you do that and
Yeah.
make it look wonderful. You're like, yeah, that saves so much time for us.
So,
I
an
think that is really
interesting,
great.
I have a thought or I have a question on that. So, if people are hiring a VA and then, how um, how can they, get them to start using AI that speaks in their language? Do you have processes? Because I always like making documents to put into AI. Is there
Yeah.
things that you
So
ask?
we develop them with the client because it really depends on the industry and where they're at. But we need that information to very much be shared with us as part of our onboarding process to the client so that we can support them with the tone of their work, um, what they're trying to say, their content and the way they say it, their style. We want to get all of that. And the documents we put into AI help us so much to achieve that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and so I was going to ask you about your onboarding, like what would be involved in onboarding a client? I'm sure it's a little bit different depending on what you're going to do for them, but can you give us an idea?
Yeah, generally, as an agency, it starts with me having the initial conversation with the client about what sort of support they're looking for, because it varies according to every every client and every business. So event management is really different to an accountancy practice. You know,
Right.
they're very different styles and types of businesses. They still need VA support, but for slightly different things. So
Right.
I have the initial conversation, and then I think about and discuss with my VAs who is going to be the most suitable person to support that client. And it's not just skill set and availability, but it's also personality, because
Right.
you want people to get on when they're working together, because then they will have a better working relationship and probably, they will get more out of it. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so yeah,
You
that's
have to be able
that,
to have conversations and communicate and know that it's, you're going to have some sort of, um, you know, things that work well together.
Yeah,
Some camaraderie,
yeah.
some personality similarities, or
I think it's really important because you tend to then align with the client's wishes more easily in terms of what they want for their business, which
right.
means that you are then offering a better service, right,
Yeah.
to them.
So I have a question for you, Claire. If is there any, like, what is the limitation of a VA? Is there anything that you would tell people, oh no, we don't do that?
It really depends on the VA. So
Okay.
within my agency, I know our limitations. None of us do website design. I
Hmm.
would refer that to an expert. Um, but we do bookkeeping. We will do LinkedIn, social media, but I'm not doing TikTok. Again, I would refer a client who wanted TikTok to somebody who specifically knew that, or a VA who was really good at AI automations, and the tech side of setting up systems. So there are so many different skill sets that virtual assistants offer,
Yes.
and so
Yes.
much software that's different out there that we're not all going to know how to do everything. It's not possible.
No, no.
So when you're looking for a VA, I would say the most important things are the essential skill set and personality. If there's a skill set on a specific program, um, then they can learn that. If it's so,
True. Oh, yes, true.
last summer I did like a landscaping CRM for a gardening company. I wouldn't expect anybody else to know how to use that CRM because it's very niche.
Right.
Um, so it's totally reasonable to expect a VA to learn that, but they've already got to have all the standard executive assistant skill sets of managing your inbox and your diary and your reports and your files and all of that.
Yeah.
Um, so it really depends on exactly what the client is looking for. And sometimes if it's not within my agency, I'll put my hand up and I'll say, I'm not the right person, but I know the person who can help you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's completely fair.
Mm,
As you said, everybody is different and has different things. And then I'll, like, the same with me. Like, there'll be times when it's like, oh, you need, you know, somebody that does more business coaching, or,
yeah,
something like that. Um, you're not quite
yeah,
ready. Or
yeah,
something. And that might be the case too, that they're not ready for a VA.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly. You have to be willing to let things be handed over to somebody else. Um, and when you've started the business for yourself, that's really hard.
Mhm.
Um, and I understand that because I'm in that position. So I don't always want to share. Um,
Yes.
but you're not going to grow unless you can understand and be able to hand over various tasks to other people in order for you to be focusing on what's going to work for you and to allow your business to grow.
So that brings me to another question I have. You made the leap from being a solo VA. You did all the stuff on your own to
Yeah,
building an agency. So what inspired the shift, and what changed in your business once you built it into a team?
the business really changed once I had a team because I was doing team management and dynamics rather than doing the work myself. Um, so instantly became much more of a business manager.
Yeah.
Um, and having worked as a manager in retail, I already knew what it was like to have a team, so
Right.
that was fine. It didn't put me off at all. I also knew that if I got a team, if I had something going on and I was too busy to do what I was trying to do, I'd got somebody else who could support me. So, and take on some of that client work. So I did it so that I could support more clients, and it not just be me. And, if something happened, I couldn't do it for that day, I wanted to know I got support myself. So that's
Yeah.
really how it happened.
Yeah.
Um,
And are you happy with the way it went and that you are an agency now rather than just doing it on your own?
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer having a team, and we've got a team WhatsApp where we can all have a no judgment conversation with, how do you do this again? So I've instantly got a pool of resources
Yeah.
that I can pull from, for skills that maybe you've done them once, you haven't done them again. That support makes you feel much braver about what you're trying to do,
Yes.
and it's much less lonely because you've got a team there to talk
Yeah.
to.
Yes, because being an entrepreneur can be lonely. And that is why also having a VA is kind of nice, is to have
Yeah.
that, even just that, if it's one person working in your corner with you,
Yes.
and that you
Yeah.
can talk about things with,
Yes.
that makes a big difference.
It makes a
So
huge difference.
yeah, yeah. You forget, and especially most people that are, in this community, they've come from corporate like
Mm,
us. They're used to working in a team. Then all of a sudden, it's like crickets. It's all on
yeah.
you. You're wearing all the hats, and you're freaking out by yourself. Whereas you
Yeah.
used to be able to, talk things over, walk over to the next desk with your colleague and talk something over, even if it didn't solve things, it was just somebody there. Now,
Yeah. It's just crickets.
yeah, yeah, and it
Yeah.
puts a lot of pressure on you, and
Yeah.
there's that anxiety that comes back
Mm.
again. Um,
And I
yeah,
think there's a misnomer that you need to be really busy and have a really growing, thriving business in order to have a VA. But actually that's really not true. You can have a VA just for a few hours in a week, or at the end of the month to help you with your accounts. It doesn't have to be a big commitment, to enable you to move forward in your business and just have some aspects of it that you no longer have to worry about. It can just be a little bit of help.
yeah,
And that is a great way for people
I
to
like
start.
that, and yeah, it doesn't. I'm always thinking about a certain amount of time a week, but you're right. It could just be one time a month for
Hmm.
a bulk
Yeah.
period of time to do, um, a bunch
Yeah.
of tasks.
And we do project work as well. So if somebody comes to me and says, I've got this event that we're trying to run, can you help us? Yeah, we know that after the event, there's going to be very little work to do. You've
Mhm.
done the event, or there's CRM that needs setting up. That's a project. You can probably do it in 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the size. It's all going to be, just a short period of time. And
Mhm.
that's a really valuable offering. It's, you're sort of,
Oh, that's huge, and that's good for people to know that, it doesn't have to always be the same amount of time, or
no,
you have to have 5 hours, or you have to have 10
mm-mm.
hours a week. There's flexibility in
Yeah.
all of it, and depending on the workload. Yeah.
And lots of VAs offer this.
Mhm.
Um, we don't necessarily shout about it enough because I think it's a really valuable resource for um, business owners, you know. So it's
Yes.
like when you get your website designed, you don't expect somebody to be um, working for you for a whole year
Right,
continuously. It's
right.
a project.
Yeah.
Um, and other projects can be handled by virtual assistants, and it's a great resource.
That's so, valuable to know. Um, so if somebody's watching today, and they realize that maybe they need help in their business. What's the best way for them to start a conversation or learn more about working with you or your team?
The easiest way is to find me on LinkedIn with, thank you very much, my personal page there, which is always relevant and up to date. So you can have a look and see what I'm up to. All my contact details are on there. Or email me on clare@clockwiseva.co.uk. There we go. That's my website. And there's pictures of me plastered all over it, so you can't miss me, I'm afraid. So yeah, it would be great. If anybody is interested, then do reach out. That would be lovely.
That's wonderful. And I'm sure this is stirring a lot of ideas and thoughts in people's heads. It doesn't have to be, 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be a certain amount of hours a week. And you can reach out to a VA to do, certain tasks or a
Yes.
project. And if you're curious, reach out to Claire and, have a conversation and just see, if a VA would be right for you, if it would
Mhm.
help you to actually build your business. This is what we want. We want to build our business. And sometimes you need help to
Yeah,
to actually be able to grow from what you are now.
that's exactly right. We will give you the time and the space to think about how you want to grow your business, and that's ideal.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening, Claire. And I appreciate all of your input. I loved hearing your story. I love the journey. I love hearing about people that are able to move from corporate to becoming entrepreneurs and having success. And of course, we know it's not always perfect all the way. But sometimes you also need a little help. So this is when you got to get hold of Claire. So thank you so much, Claire. It's been
Thank you for
wonderful.
having me. It's been really fun. Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it.
You're so
Okay.
welcome. And
All
thank
right.
you, everyone. And we'll see you next time in the Scene Live. Bye for now.
Bye.